OK, what about the BBC licence fee then? One of your predecessors, Nadine Dorries, said the current settlement would be the last. So in other words, licence fees on the way out. Do you agree?
I think the BBC is a phenomenal British institution. So I mentioned, the 200 dignitaries that came over the weekend, and I had an opportunity to speak to many of them who talk about the soft power of the UK. That means, recognising our values overseas, and the BBC is part of that.
So should the licence fee stay then?
We do need to look at, and we're reviewing, as you all know, we're reviewing the Charter, and we'll be looking at the licence fee. And the licence fee is one of that, and I do think we need to think about the way the BBC is funded, but it is important that it gets the resources that it needs in able to continue to be the fantastic institution that it is.
But are you disagreeing then with Nadine Dorries, who said very clearly, as Culture Secretary, you're now Culture Secretary, she said the licence fee settlement as it stands would be the last. In other words, the licence fee firmly, in her view, was on the way out. Is that your view?
Well, we are reviewing the licence fee. I've started that review. I'll be listening to a number of people, including the BBC. I do think it will have to look very closely at its funding arrangement. We will be looking very closely at its funding arrangement. That is something that we will be looking at very seriously in due course.
But I'm just trying to understand, is it your instinct that basically, therefore, the licence fee should go ultimately?
Well, I know you want to press me, and I've just said that we are starting that process, and I do think it's really important that the BBC gets its funding, but I do think it might need to look at a variety of sources for its funding, but I'm starting that review at the moment, and I don't want to prejudge that.
But so a variety of sources, what do you mean by that?
Well, I've just started this review. I'm very happy to come on in the future to discuss it. I'd like to ensure the BBC is properly funded. The licence fee isn't the only way.
OK, now we're in a few minutes.